Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warplanes. This time we'll be taking a look at the Tier 8 German heavy fighter, the Messerschmitt 262, the Tier 8 version. So, first let's take a look at the history. I know most of you guys probably know of this plane already, so the history Wargaming is going to provide is probably not going to be anything new to you guys, but we'll check it out anyway. Wargaming says that the Messerschmitt 262 was the world's first jet-powered aircraft or fighter to enter mass production. The start of development was delayed by the interference of German top leadership, who demanded a bomber variant to be developed first. So yes, we have the fighter version, but the high command at Germany, when they first saw this, required or demanded a bomber variant first. And at that point, Germany was on the defensive, or getting close to being on the defensive, and it really did hinder them to try to make a bomber variant. I think they just wanted to have something that was very fast, so they could get to Britain, drop some bombs, race back to Germany, reload, race back to Britain, drop some bombs, and race back. But that just wasn't practical with the design of this plane. It was it was designed to get up high quickly and knock out bombers. It really was. And when Germany finally started to look into fighter variants of this 262, which is this thing right here, it just was too late in the war. It was too late at that point to make 262s. However, the Messerschmitt 262 was the first German fighter, sorry, let's restart this. Germany was the first country, first nation, whatever, to bring a jet-powered aircraft into combat. If I remember correctly, it was not the first jet-powered aircraft, despite popular belief. It was the first one to enter combat. If I do recall correctly, the Meteor 1, the British Meteor 1, or I think there was some Allied jet plane that also saw combat during World War II, but there was no jet-on-jet battles. So, anyway, let's take a look at what the stats of this iconic plane are in-game. So, Wargaming says that this has powerful, large-caliber armament effective against aircraft with high survivability. Absolutely. But we'll go back into that a little bit later. But for now, I'll show you that this has 4 30s, the same 30s that you'll get on the TA-183. You'll get the stock, or these will be stock guns on the HG2. The same ones on the ME329, if you've played that. So they have been on a few. They do hit pretty decently, but there's too much of a delay in between shots, in my opinion. So it's like ba, 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 or maybe slightly faster, but not by much. And although they're all mounted right here, it's hard to hit those. And they're also super short range. If you see this right here, it's only 2,000 feet is the optimum firing range. And yeah, you can hit about that far. You really can. But you're going at such crazy speeds, and we'll get back into that later. But because you're going so fast, and you have such a short window of opportunity to actually fire the guns to be able to hit targets, it is a very hard task to get these guns to hit targets. But this plane does ruin bombers and GA. So that's kind of cool. The next thing, it's got good survivability, but large dimensions and vulnerable engine. It is a heavy fighter, so it does have good survivability, but I do believe compared to the other Tier 8 heavy fighters, it is one of the lowest survivability. Let's move on though. Very high airspeed, powerful and long-lasting boost. It does have a 20-second boost, so it is incredibly good boost, and it's got amazing airspeed. 75, which is 562 miles per hour at best altitude, with 621 max dive speed. That is very substantial. You just simply will not have planes chasing you unless you have an R262 on your tail, or a Tier 9, or a Pancake. And that's about it. Those are the only planes that can keep up with you. You are incredibly fast. Ineffective in maneuvering combat. This plane is so fast that, yeah, it simply cannot turn at all. It's got terrible maneuverability. But you don't really need that to shoot down bombers and GA, right? Very effective at intercepting aircraft at a high altitude. Yes, it does have a very nice altitude performance of 8,200 feet. Not too bad. And it can carry bombs or salvo-launched rockets. You'll start out with the bomber. These bombs, they go on a multitude of aircraft, including the Me-329. So they are very nice, and you get 2 of them. So you get just as much bombs as a Tier 8 German ground pounder. Not too shabby. Sounds all great and dandy until you can get these air-to-air rockets. These air-to-air rockets go on the BVP-210, the HG-2, and the Tier 9 Batwing. So you should pretty much get you should know these rockets pretty decently. They are amazing. Anything that goes head-on with you will die. No extra stipulants. They will die if they go head-on with you. And that's pretty exciting. They don't do the most damage, but they have a fast reload. So, just launch out all 24 of them, watch the enemy die, and let them reload, and then you're ready to head on stuff again. Alternatively, you can come up right behind a GA or a bomber and blast them with rockets, but I personally find that a little bit more difficult. It can be done, but it's a little bit more difficult in my opinion. I prefer just shooting rockets head on. It works a lot better. And then, even GA, this plane is so fast, and GA are so slow, that you have to apply the brakes like crazy, and if the GA starts turning at all, you're going to lose target. You're just not going to be able to hit them, and that's an issue for me. But that's it with this. Overall, here's a way to summarize it. Don't go head on because rockets will kill you. Don't go head on because 430 mil cannons will destroy you. This thing chews up bombers, chews up GAs, and has unfathomable airspeed at Tier 8, but does not turn at all. There you go. Summarized the whole plane for you. Now, let's check at the service department here. I should mount those, but it is kind of pricey, so it's up to you. 24 rockets, pneumatic restarter, control surfaces, first aid kit, because I don't do fire extinguishers. And you are going to want a pneumatic restarter, even if you don't normally run pneumatic restarters. You really do want it in this plane, because these engines fail so frequently, and if you lose your engine, the whole purpose of this plane is destroyed. You are designed to go fast. Gotta go fast. See if anyone catches that reference. But the engines get shot up like crazy, so you really do need to keep a pneumatic restarter. And I don't do fire extinguisher because preferences. As for this, I think gyroscopic gun sight, which increases accuracy, is a requirement. And then I had this because it was free, but do what you want. An ordnance delivery site, again, this was free, so I probably would not put that on there. So if I did not put those on there, what would I put? Well, improved aircraft polish, because your speed is what will save you. So put improved aircraft polish on, and I would also do this one. Reinforced airframe, 15% to HP, and minus 10% of crit damage. So, that's important too. As for paint schemes, well, unfortunately, despite it being a super iconic plane, Wargaming's like, nope, no free camo for you. So, likewise, that means you cannot put your beta sticker on there. So frustrating. Anyway, let's look at the pilot. Oh wait, my pilot's in the tier 10 plane, so let's go check that out. Alright, this plane looks awesome, but tier 8 version, anyway. I did Marksman 1 and 2. Alternatively, well, there is no alternative to this. Never mind, I lied. You can do Marksman 1 and 2, or you can do Engine Guru 1 and 2 if you care more about speed. But personally, you're so fast anyway, I don't really bother. In fact, for the tier 8 version, I would say Expert Rocketeer would be beneficial. As for the rest of the skills, do what you think is most beneficial. I think Marksman 1 and 2, and Expert Rocketeer, and then Engine Guru 1 and 2 seem the most appropriate for this plane, but, you know, again, it's just my opinion, and these skills are very customizable, so what works for me may not work for you. And with that, I think we should get into some gameplay. However, before we go into the gameplay, I must warn you that getting high scores in this plane, at least for me, is incredibly difficult. I have never gotten Winged Legend in this plane, despite having some fairly decent battles. I just cannot break 14k in this plane. Slay, if you guys watch his channel and his content, he claims, I don't know how accurate his claims are, but he claims to have gotten over 15,000 personal points in his first battle in this plane. Maybe it's just jealousy or something, but personally I don't think that's possible in this plane. Regardless, I think it's a very difficult plane to play. Certainly not an easy plane, and I don't think I can recommend this plane, but more on that later. Let's check some gameplay first. Alright, and welcome back everyone. So here's the gameplay. There's only 2 tier 8s on each team, all the rest are tier 7s. So that will work in our benefit. We are on this map, I don't know what it's called, but we are on this map. Great title, right? And it's a 5-sector setup. We have command center, garrison on each side, and then there's a factory for everyone to fight over. Most people seem to want the command center, which is very valid, but there's no heavy fighters over there, and shooting down not heavy fighters is just a nightmare. Even shooting down heavy fighters sometimes is really difficult. But we got a rocket kill in retrospective that was way too far away, but again, another retrospective. The fact that I did fire them at that time was because I knew that bot was going to run away if I didn't shoot them at that time, just because he did not want to go head on with me. So I fired it that early just so that I'd get him before he was able to pull away. So we did kill him, and now I'm going over to the factory because that's where high hit point targets are going to be at, right? At least you would think. So I'm getting up high because I know that there's at least one bomber on the enemy side. So I'm going to stay up high, see if I can find him, but if there are GA down low, of course I'll go down low. As you can see, I got up to altitude with absolutely no issues. It just was not hard. But also note that at 330 miles per hour, you're already starting to stall, or not stall, but you're yellow for speed, and that means you have to keep up your airspeed. And that's where shooting down GA is difficult, because the GAs are so slow, so you need to apply your brakes. But if you apply your brakes, well, now you're starting to stall. So it's just that weird, really weird dilemma where you're almost too fast for your own good, right? And I think that's my issue with this plane. Its speed is its downfall, as you will. We're going after the RB-17 and also the guns. I think the guns are pretty much useless. Sometimes you'll hit and you'll just decimate, and other times you just can't hit worth crap. And I don't really get that. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but it is what it is. So we have a meteor that tried going head on. Unfortunately, he dodged out of the way before I could hit him, so we don't kill him. It was a smart play on his part, not very happy on my part because I didn't kill him. Regardless, there was no one at the factory, so I came over to the command center, found the whole enemy team, and just boosted away from all of them because you have the airspeed. So that's pretty cool. There's a heavy fighter down there. Going straight down like this is really hard to hit stuff. Never was going to kill him with that. It never would have happened. Try to flip around. Takes forever to flip around. There we go. We're lined up. Shots are lined up. And he won't die. Like, he should have died way faster than that. He was sitting there, barely moving. He should have died. I thought the guy was going to go head on. He was not, so I don't kill him, but that's okay. We got one on IG coming head on, and my shots barely did anything. So, yeah, that's my issue with it. He really should have been killed in that pass. I know it was a very short pass, but with the speed of this plane and the nature of it, 430 should have killed him. He should have been dead. Especially since I feel like I had those shots lined up. See, that time I didn't really get any good shots on him, and he just blew up anyway. So it's like, it's impossible to make this work on a regular basis, and that's the issue I have with it. We got some bomber strike squadron coming by, so just come by and knock them out on my way to wherever I'm going. So I'm applying the brakes, but this plane is just too fast. Take down 2 and take down the 3rd. Too fast. I basically overshot, so I'm going to pull out like this, especially since I have a BVP-210 on my tail. He killed me. Don't know really where he came from, but oh well, he got me. Regardless, I weakened the bomber strike squadron enough, so it probably will not get taken, which is good. We'll respawn, and honestly, I should have probably gone over to the factory a little bit more, especially at this point. This is a mistake, but this plane was closer. I'm like, ooh, can I just shoot him down? But the big hit point targets are the ones you want to shoot at, and they're the ones that are over the factory, so I probably should have gone over there first. I do not get the kill for him, and I'm going too fast, so I just completely overshoot him. Try to turn. I think I'm going to be able to turn on him at least, because he's not really looking at me. For sure, we were able to kill him. Nice, nice. 5,600 personal points. Nothing crazy yet, but it's not a bad round yet. And we have the bombers going through again, so let's farm some bombers again. And I don't normally like to show me feasting on these bomber strike squadrons, nor do I like to even fight them, just because it's so boring. It's pretty boring. I don't feel like I'm influencing the battle enough by just shooting down bombers. I know it's important, but I don't really enjoy it that much. I took down 4 just like that, no issues whatsoever. There's 1 left, and I'm going to see if I can flip around, but I doubt I'm going to be able to get him at this point. And I lost so much speed trying to do what I did, but we're going to apply the boost and see if we can take down this RB-17 at all. he should be able to get killed pretty easily. And as you can see, the boost is very exceptional on this plane, and the airspeed is exceptional. But the issues are the guns. They're too short a range, and they're too random. Like, sometimes they'll hit like crazy, and other times they just won't hit at all. So, don't know what that's all about. We got a high hit point target down below, and some bomber formations. It's already squall line, so that's an issue. I'm going to flip behind the bombers, apply the brakes. Otherwise I'll overshoot these guys. Pull it below. Their tail gunners aren't even shooting at me yet. He did. Applying the brakes. He did. Apply the brakes. He's dead. And I'm almost about to stall here. But let's see if I can shut him down before I pull away. Cannot quite get him. So he lives. We got a 109G coming in. I don't really want to get killed by him, but I need to pick up my speed so I can get a little bit better turn rate. So that if you're in the white, you get the best turn rate for your plane. So, trying to do that. 109G, he's coming head on with me. Terrible decision. Allied rams me. Also terrible decision. But it is what it is. The bomber is running away, but I hate that bomber. I'm going to kill him anyway. Even though he's already gone, but he will die. He will die. He is dead. Not really a whole lot more we can do now. There's not really a whole lot of targets for me to shoot right now, so I was just kind of wondering what to do. I know this is not a very exciting battle. It's not a very impressive battle. It's the lowest personal point game I've ever put up on this channel. But I wanted to review this plane. Unfortunately, it's just not a good plane in my opinion. Despite what Slay says, Slay thinks this is a good plane. I totally disagree with him. There's too many wrongs to justify this plane. The tier 9 is amazing though. Like, if you don't like this plane just as much as I didn't like it, stick through it and get to the tier 9, because the tier 9 is probably one of the best heavy fighters in the game. It is unbelievable. We get ace, but it's a really dumb ace. It's not very impactful, not very impressive. I'm not proud of getting the ace just because I shot down a bunch of bomber formations. Anything can shoot down bomber formations. This probably does it the best, but it's just not impressive. It's so boring. That's all the battle was. It was just me shooting down bomber formations, shooting down a bomber. I didn't even shoot down any GAs. I don't know. I think maybe once more bombers are in the game, this could be useful. But right now, it's just not good. It does not feel good. 11,000 damage to aerial targets, exactly 20 kills. So that is a win, and that's it for the battle. That's the best battle I had the whole time. And the fact that I could not even get Winged Legend in this plane, I think, speaks volumes. So do I recommend this plane? No, I don't. If you want to play a plane like it, but is actually balanced and fun, play the ME262 HG2. It is phenomenal. I already made a video on it, a review on it, so if you want to check out how this plane compares to that, I will leave a link in the description. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit of a depressing video, but I think this plane is a depressing plane to me. It's one of those very iconic planes, and for it to suck that much is pretty disheartening, I'd say. But with that being said, have a great day, and please leave comments down below. Love reading them, and I'll catch you next time.